Les interviews du doc, c'est maintenant sur Vinyl Time.
Ok.
Eh ben voilà les amis, c'est un grand plaisir qu'on va accueillir un artiste divers et varié puisqu'on a avec nous en direct Michael Palace qui vient nous présenter son nouvel album Reckless Art qui est disponible depuis le 12 juillet via le label Frontiers Records. Alors c'est un super album qui fait environ 45 minutes. C'est du mélodique hard rock avec des titres fantastiques. Alors pourquoi j'ai invité Michael? Parce que ça faisait un moment que je voulais qu'on parle un petit peu de tous ces albums. C'est son 5e album. Depuis 2016, vous avez déjà 5 super disques à vous mettre sous les dents. Et je pense que c'était un bon moment pour parler avec Michael de tous ses projets, puisqu'il a son propre groupe, il participe à beaucoup de groupes. On va lui poser plein de questions. Et puis on a quelques questions d'auditeurs, donc on va en profiter. Michael, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. It's a great pleasure to speak with you for the first time about your last release. It's a nightmare because we have a lot of good releases before, but now I decided to speak with you with Reckless Art. So first of all, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. And again, congratulations for Reckless Art. Wow.
Thank you so much for having me. And it's my favorite album so far, so I think now is a good time to speak.
Voilà, vous avez compris. Alors, on a la joie d'avoir Michael avec nous. Alors, il a déjà sorti 5 albums. On va faire un focus, bien sûr, sur Reckless Art. Comme le dit Michael, c'est son album favori, mais il y en a plein d'autres. On va commencer par parler de Reckless Art et puis après on parlera un petit peu du reste. Michael, first, I think you are so happy because, like you said a few seconds, it's one of the important releases that we have right now. Share with us since mid of July. And by the way, I think you see a lot of review coming everywhere because now with Frontiers label, Frontiers Records, we have a lot of people listen music everywhere, and I see a lot of review coming from everywhere. I think for you it's great to see and to know that a lot of people listen your music everywhere and give some review, by the way.
Yes, very much. Feels amazing said that you can reach so many people nowadays so easily with the internet, and the reviews are really nice. They're coming in. Feels like the people understood what I was trying to do this time with the 80s sound, and it feels really nice.
Voilà, vous l'avez compris, hein, alors il y a la distribution Frontières, bien sûr, vous l'avez compris, mais c'est surtout impressionnant de voir toutes les personnes qui ont pu écouter cet album. J'espère que vous l'avez écouté, bien sûr. Et puis, il y a vraiment beaucoup de bons titres et de bons retours partout dans le monde. C'est incroyable pour un artiste qui commence pas, hein, parce qu'on va parler des albums qu'il a fait auparavant, et puis on fera un petit focus sur Reckless Art. Michael, one question. What is the difference between the Michael Palace at the beginning with Master of the Universe and Reckless Art right now? Do you change your approach to write something? Do you change your creation mode? Do you change the approach to create something? What is the difference between this first release and this last release?
I think the difference is the smallest it has been so far, actually. I feel like on this last album, I was the closest to the way I was during the first one, compared to everything in between. So it's more like I come back to the original spark and the feeling I had in the beginning when I first fell in love with this type of 80s AR music. Yeah, so I feel like I'm young again, kind of.
Voilà, donc effectivement, alors le premier album s'appelait Master of the Universe. Et la question, c'était quelle est la différence? Il est revenu plutôt à quelque chose qu'il faisait du début, justement avec Master of the Universe. Et puis, entre deux, il a quand même sorti d'autres albums, hein, puisqu'il y a Binary Music, Rock and Roll Radio and One for the Road, qui était sorti en 2022. Vous l'avez compris, les albums sortent toutes les 2 ans, et donc on va devoir attendre encore 2 ans pour un prochain. So I think, Michael, I see that each record's coming 2 years after 2 years. So we pass, I think, many times for you to work on Palace, and maybe you pass sometimes to work with other artists, because I see that you share and you help a lot of bands like Perfect Plan, Ken Hilli, or something like that. So you are in fact a busy man, no?
Yes, I guess I could say that. And it's also when I finish a new Palace album, I feel like I don't want to do anything with music at all for a while. And then slowly I start working with other people, and I discover the joy again. And when 2 years have almost passed, then I feel like making a new Palace album because of all the inspiration I have from working with other people and finding my way back to music. But the first months after finishing a Palace album is like, I'm never gonna do music again because it's so much work.
Yes.
Especially doing everything yourself, and then you really get tired of the songs and everything to do with music.
Bah voilà, vous l'avez compris. Alors effectivement, Michael, alors les albums sortent à peu près tous les 2 ans pour Palace. Comme il le dit, vous avez compris, hein, il fait tout seul, comme sur le dernier album. Donc c'est beaucoup de travail parce il faut créer les titres, il faut créer la musique, les synthés, la batterie, la guitare, voilà, la basse, et ainsi de suite. Donc c'est quand même un gros travail. Et puis derrière, bah oui, il participe aussi à plein d'autres groupes, hein, puisqu'on peut le trouver. Il travaille aussi bien avec des groupes, beaucoup de groupes comme Force Signal, Cry of Dawn, Tony Hitchcock, voilà, tous les groupes qui tournent autour de Frontiers, plus des gens comme Kent Hilli, Nevena, voilà, il est aussi producteur, donc il a gros travail, donc il a effectivement une partie plutôt côté Palace et puis une partie de l'autre côté pour donner un coup de main en tant que producteur. And by the way, Michael, we just coming back right now to Reckless Art. We came the idea of each song because we have a lot of different things when I'm listen, of course, this fantastic new release, because we have some songs like Girls is an Angel, which look like an hour songs, and maybe sometimes we have for example, For the Love with more riff on it. So where came the idea, and when came the different melody to create this new records?
Some of the songs I've had for a while. I had written a long time ago, but I never was able to complete them. And for this, one of those is You Give Me a Reason to Live and Girl is an Angel. These were song ideas I had for many years.
Okay.
Actually, from when I first started making music. And now I was finally able to finish them. And the rest of the songs were just me trying to make the just perfect AR songs, like inspired by different bands. Like each song is probably inspired by some different artists. For example, Reckless Heart is very inspired by Starship.
Wow.
Just to name one band. That was my like. I'm trying to do a Starship song basically, but like in my style. And this is kind of how I work usually. I'm trying to make the songs that I would listen to myself.
Voilà, comme le dit Michael, hein, vous avez compris. Alors, je voulais savoir un peu d'où venaient les différentes approches pour enregistrer. Alors, il y a des vieux titres comme par exemple You Give Me a Reason to Live or Girls is an Angel. Il y a des titres qui s'inspirent de Starship. Voilà, c'est des idées qui traînent dans les cartons depuis un long moment. Et puis là, c'était la bonne occasion pour les mettre et les faire partager avec l'ensemble des auditeurs. Hein. Voilà. Alors, les amis, si vous nous rejoignez, on est avec Michael Palace. On parle de son nouvel album Reckless Art qui est disponible depuis le 12 juillet. C'est un très bon album, très aware, très sympa à écouter. C'est sorti via le label Frontiers. Michael, I think I have a question regarding touring or maybe some show, because after 5 releases, I think it would be a great idea to hear some songs live. When you plan something live?
I know this is difficult. Because I really like working in the studio and living a more like doing different things on my free time, not with music. And I feel like touring and stuff takes so much time. And I used to play live before when I was younger a lot. So, I don't know. I don't have any plans right now, but I feel like with AI, it might change everything actually, because what's the point of recording music now when you can just make AI record music? But AI still can't play live, so maybe that's the only thing you will be able to do. That's interesting. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have to do live. Maybe 2026 will be live instead of album. We'll see.
Ah voilà, donc une petite question quand même, effectivement, au niveau des concerts, même si on a bien compris que c'est pas simple aujourd'hui de faire des concerts, ça sera intéressant d'entendre après 5 albums, quelques titres en live interprétés par Michael et son équipe. Comme il le dit, il fait beaucoup de choses en studio. Après, c'est comme d'habitude très difficile de pouvoir avoir ces sessions live, et effectivement, il n'est pas planifié d'avoir du live, mais en tout cas, peut-être plus tard, si une occasion se présente, on pourra effectivement peut-être entendre Michael Palace live avec tous ces bons titres. I think, Michael, you create a lot of songs for Palace, and what is your approach when you work with some other people? you're thinking after that we pick up some idea from, for example, with Hilli, and we put on Palace because we say that it's not for Kent and this is more for me, or do you share some approach like you have in Palace right now to some other artists? Because you work a lot with many artists everywhere, so you can find the best approach for Palace and for produce some other artists.
For Palace, I'm writing things that I know I will be able to perform well, and there's a lot of things that I can't do. So sometimes if I'm writing something, I feel like, no, I won't be able to do the song, then I put it aside and save it for someone else. But usually I like to just write with the artist in mind. So if I'm writing for Kent Hilli, let's say, for example, I will imagine that he is singing this and like what kind of things does sound nice when he sings it. And like pretending like some cosplay. I'm pretending I'm Kent Hilli while I'm writing. Something like this.
Ah, voilà, comme l'a dit Michael, il joue plutôt effectivement les morceaux de Palace qui lui va savoir bien jouer. Et puis quand il est avec Hilli, il travaille, il réfléchit à la manière dont ils peuvent faire des chansons ensemble et la manière dont il peut apporter quelque chose en plus en tant que producteur pour le coup, parce qu'effectivement c'est parfois un peu plus difficile. Michael, one thing, because this is the first time that we speak all together, and I have some questions coming from the listener right now, and one of the first question is coming from your inspiration, and one of the listener said, where came the inspiration to create some songs? Which band is behind your creation?
Well, I mentioned Starship. It's one big one. Giant. I like FM's early stuff. Aviator.
A lot.
Triumph. Triumph is good. That's Canadian.
Yeah.
I think many. All the AR bands. Strange Ways. There. Loverboy. I mean, all of them really.
Voilà,
but mostly not so many Scandinavian bands actually.
Okay.
Which strangely enough, except I really like Heat's first 2 albums.
Yeah.
I think those are some of the best AR albums ever made. Heat, self-titled and Freedom Rock. I think they're at the same level as like Giant's Time to Burn for me, or Europe, Prisoners in Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one of my favorite two Giants. This one is fantastic. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Voilà, vous l'avez compris. Alors la réponse à la question, c'est qu'il a beaucoup de groupes, et on parlait de Starship. Alors, on a donné Starship, Giant, Triumph, FM. Voilà, il y a plein de groupes dans lesquels il aime des choses et qui peut lui retranscrire dans ses titres. Michael, another question from another listener. You, as a producer, do you have some dream to work with some artists right now?
My biggest dream would be to work with Max Martin, actually the songwriter. Yeah. This is the biggest dream. Dan Huff would be cool to work with directly on some country stuff, because I love country music too, actually. And he's making some very nice country nowadays. Yeah, those two probably, my top 2.
Voilà, vous l'avez compris, hein, dans les deux, on est toujours autour de Giant, hein, puisqu'on parle de Dan Huff. Voilà, ça serait bien effectivement d'avoir quelque chose de nouveau avec Dan Huff. But it's so difficult to work with Dan Huff right now because it's clearly not totally on the music that we like. By the way, it's more the country and something like that. It's disappear a little bit on the release that we have created before with Giant. Maybe it's
I would work on some country with them. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Some country guitar maybe.
Yes, but let's see. It's possible, huh?
Anything is possible, of course.
Yeah, of course. What is maybe I have? Yes, I have another question coming from another, but I think it's not so easy to answer right now, Michael. This is coming from a next step. I think one of my listeners said, "What is the next step for Michael Palace after this last release of Palace? What is the plan I think, of course, a new palace is coming in a couple of months after, maybe 2026. But what do you have on the bag right now for the end of this year and beginning of 2025?
Right now, nothing actually. Right now, I'm trying a different profession. I'm working as a sound and light engineer at a hotel in Greece right now.
Okay.
It's for 7 months. I started right after I finished the Palace album, and I went here, started working here. It's very nice. 7 months of very nice summer.
You have a summer?
Like recharging.
Are you sure you have a summer? Because in Paris it
yes,
looks like
very...
I don't know, not so beautiful.
No. Oh, here it's been 40 degrees for
yeah,
a week
I
almost.
I know. But in Paris, maximum. But I think today is good. But maximum 22 or 25. It depends. Huh?
Yeah. Same in Stockholm usually.
Yes.
So this is something new right now for me. So we'll see what happens after. But I'm getting a lot of inspiration here, and it's very nice. But as I said, after I finish a Palace album, I don't want to even think about music for a while. Yes.
Bah, we'll see. Ouais, let's see. Bah, voilà, vous l'avez compris. Alors, une nouvelle fois, donc la petite question, c'est quoi les projets? Bah, pour l'instant, il n'y a pas... Bon, il y aura certainement un nouveau palace, comme il le dit, mais il est passé un petit peu du côté ingénieur du son. Il est en Grèce, et puis voilà, il découvre d'autres choses. C'est aussi... il n'y a rien de planifié pour le moment, mais on va peut-être découvrir quelques titres en fin d'année, l'année prochaine. Voilà, tout dépendra de ce qui viendra. Michael, maybe we're just coming back right now for Reckless Art. You have created a lot of fantastic songs, and by the way, one of my favorite, it turns this car around. I don't know why, but I like this song.
Nice.
and this one look like very different, because I think it's one of the most energetic songs, like you said a couple of minutes, Giant have created before. And we have different songs on this album, but this one look like a little bit, but little different. And what is behind Turn This Car Around? It's so heavy, it's so different.
Yeah, this one actually came from a song I wrote for the first Palace album, Master of the Universe, but it wasn't very good at that time. And now for this album, I changed it a lot, and it was like making a puzzle almost. I took some riffs and changed them, like the key of them, and moved things around. So it was a strange way to write a song, but it turned out like this. So maybe that's why it's a bit different. And for this, I had a lot of inspiration from Triumph, actually, from their, what's it called, Surveillance album. I was trying to make something like that sound, which I haven't done before, really.
Bah voilà, alors, moi, une de mes chansons préférées de cet album, c'est Turn This Car Around. Voilà, c'est vraiment un morceau puissant. Il est différent. Il est un peu dans les morceaux dont on discutait tout à l'heure, que faisait Giant, des morceaux très puissants au milieu d'un album qui sortent de nulle part. C'est incroyable. Et comme le dit Michael, bah, effectivement, c'est une approche différente. C'est pas quelque chose qu'il a souvent écrit. Il se réfère notamment, il y avait un peu de ce même type de titre dans le premier album, hein, que vous pouvez aller découvrir et écouter, qui s'appelle Master of the Universe. Et puis, c'est une approche un peu différente. Donc, c'est pour ça que bah, ce titre, il sort un peu du lot. Et comme il le dit, ça vient un peu de ce qu'il écoute en ce moment, notamment en Triomphe et des choses comme ça. Donc, voilà, c'est un peu surprenant. Mais en tout cas, ce morceau, il est incroyable. Michael, 2 questions before we ending right now. Another song which look like a beautiful songs of the 80s. It look like the Widow Web. And I think on this release, you have a real mix on the 80s songs, 90s songs, and the approach, like you said, it's sometimes it's our, sometimes it's melodic rock, sometimes it's rock, it's classic rock, I would like to say. And I think, again, I congratulate you, because it is something that is really shared on these different songs for this record. And I think that's why I like, and many other people like, you have so many ideas coming for the 80s, 19s, and so on. I would like to say again, congratulations, but what a lot of work, because it's clearly so different things with maybe 11 songs and maybe 12 with this particular song for Japan, but what a work, what a work. You pass how many time to create everything?
Thank you so much.
Crazy.
Appreciate it. Yes, it is a lot of work. Yeah. It's going crazy. Like, my approach was making one song at a time this time. Usually I used to write all the songs first and then let's say record all the guitars for all the songs and then move on to the next instrument and so on. And this time I was doing one song at a time. So let's say I think I started with Widow's Web. Yeah, this was the first song. And I made it completely, like recorded all the instruments, mixed it. And then I knew like what the sound is supposed to be for the whole album. And then I did the same thing for each song. And it was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks per song. And then after that, there was like many weeks of mixing everything and mastering.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of work, but this was a good approach, I think, because every song got the chance to get like the full attention and all the small details that happen. It was more like, even though it's just one person, but it's more like a full band is coming up with ideas. Because then I could record some guitar part and then I got an idea for a synth part at the same time maybe, and I could do this at the same time and keep adding small details. It was a nice approach, I think.
Ah voilà, comme le dit Michael, alors cet album, il est incroyable. Là, il y a 11 titres plus un titre bonus au Japon. Donc vous l'avez compris, il a commencé l'écriture par The Window Wet dont on parlait, ce morceau très 80. Donc il crée un morceau par morceau, ça lui prend entre 2 et 3 semaines. Voilà, il laisse vivre le morceau, il revient dessus, il le réenregistre. C'est pour ça que c'est très long. Et puis après, bien sûr, il y a le mix, le mastering, voilà, il y a toute la composition. Comme il fait tout seul, c'est beaucoup de travail. Et puis effectivement, c'est quand même à la fin un bel objet, un beau disque à écouter. Donc il s'appelle, je vous le rappelle, Reckless Art. Il est disponible depuis le 12 juillet, donc il y a quelques jours. On a la chance de discuter avec Michael Palace, qu'on va libérer maintenant. Michael, thank you so much for your time. And again, congratulations for the next release. I'm waiting the next one, of course. And I hope we can see somewhere on stage you, the band, and a lot of songs. But before we ending, Michael, do you have some words for the French listener?
Actually, especially for the French listener, I have been working with a French movie making team called Massa Brothers. We're making like very 80s inspired indie movies that are very nice. They love like 80s cinema as much as I love 80s music. And I had the chance to make some music for their movies. And they're working on a new one. I think it's called Dragon's Revenge. So I recommend for the French listeners to go to YouTube and search for Massa Brothers. They have movies in French that are very 80s, and I think people will really enjoy them.
Et ben voilà, donc on vous mettra le lien, pour aller trouver ce titre sur YouTube. Michael, thank you so much. Enjoy your holidays, I would like to say.
It's almost. Thank you.
And again, congratulations for the new release. And now maybe we can listen right now, turn this car around, I think, because it's my favorite.
Very nice. Thank you. This was a very nice interview.